All right, let's just be real here for a second. If you're not in the right mindset, the scriptures can be pretty boring. There, I said it. So the trick is, how do we get in the right mindset to where the scriptures can actually come to life for us, where we can actually see ourselves within the scriptures? If we don't do this, we are missing out so much, and true conversion can't happen. If we can tap into that feeling where the scriptures come to life for us, it can quite literally save our soul. There were a few times in my life, especially on my mission, where I really was able to find myself in the scriptures and say, oh, this applies to me directly right here. And other times I'm reading Isaiah and I'm just trying to get through it. Without a doubt, the one thing that brought the scriptures to life more than anything else has been music. Music has a power that is hard to really define. It's an eternal art. We know that there's music in heaven. Angels sang at the birth of Jesus, right? And so we know that that's there. And so music is one of those tools that can really strengthen our conversion and bring our conversion from our head into our hearts. And for me, that specifically applied to the scriptures in a really unique way. A couple of years back, I was asked to write a song for a youth conference where they were reenacting scenes from the Book of Mormon. And the process of writing that song really changed my life, because for the first time, I really put myself in the shoes of these Book of Mormon heroes. And in this particular situation, it was Moroni. And there were thoughts that I had of like, okay, what did Moroni feel when he buried those plates? And, you know, getting into that mindset was a very interesting exercise. And it ended up leading to something that changed my life forever. And so I sit down at the piano, and my hands just fall on the keys, and out comes the line, I buried you in a box of my own making, but I don't think I'll see you again. And as soon as that line came out, it just flooded. What was Moroni thinking when he buried those plates? What was it like to make that box and to go bit by bit and piece by piece to make something where he was going to be burying these plates, which were his best friend? And when I really tapped into that mindset, the rest of the song just came flooding out. And I'm sitting here on the keyboard just like crying. And I'm like, this is what it must have felt like. And most importantly, I had the thought, these plates were so precious, and my love and my appreciation for the Book of Mormon grew tenfold. And we hold these in our hands every day, and it's on our phones at the flip of our thumb, and so often we just take it for granted. But here's Moroni burying these plates, never to see them again, at least in that life. Since writing that song, I've written an entire album from the perspective of Book of Mormon heroes. That's how impactful that song was for me, because having understood Moroni a little bit better and having understood how precious the Book of Mormon is, I wanted more of that. A little bit selfishly, I was like, I need to, what else am I missing here? You know, you hear all the time, like, oh, this was written for our day. And again, as a young man, I was like, I don't see that. I don't feel that. I don't know how, Nephi breaking his bow is going to help me in geometry. Like, I couldn't make that connection. And with writing this song about Moroni, that connection was made in a way that I had never had before. So I was like, man, what else is there? I've been inspired by music my whole life. Not just in a spiritual sense, but just in my outlook on life. The bands that I listen to help me embrace like positivity and optimism. And, there were times where, in my darkest hours and in my saddest times, I knew what song to listen to get me out of it or to commiserate with me, And so music has this special power. And I didn't ever think that music could have the power to connect me with the scriptures. Okay, music's emotional. I can connect with other people. But can music actually connect me to the scriptures? And I'd never thought that before. And the answer is a resounding yes. Music is a tool that the Spirit uses to get the gospel and the words of the scriptures into our hearts. And so don't leave music on the shelf, as it were. When you're thinking about the tools to strengthen your conversion, to introduce the gospel to people, to be a missionary, throw music into that mix. Find music that not only uplifts you, but can teach you, that can open your mind to other perspectives. Find music that, is entertaining, that keeps your interest. And that's not a dirty word. I think sometimes we think that it is. Like, if it's spiritual music, it's got to be slow. It's got to be boring. It's got to be a certain way. And I don't think that's the case. I think music can be energetic, can be fun. And I know as I wrote this album, there were times that I was really like jamming and rocking out. And I'm like, you know what? I am feeling something here. And I'm feeling a connection with this Book of Mormon hero. And I have a, not loyalty, but I'm like, hey, we're brothers. I get you now. And because of that, I can say, oh, this does help me as I go to school, as I go to work, as I do all these things. And getting that relation there was absolutely key. Music can turn something that's just, black letters on white paper into something that is colorful, that is vivid, that is true, and that is spiritual. Some of these songs that I wrote, they're not necessarily like spiritually, I'm not like reciting scripture, but you know what? They pump me up to say, you know what? I can face today. I can get up and I can put on the armor of God and it can rock and I can be happy about it. And when those times during the day come where I'm like, oh, geez, I can listen to that song. I'm like, you know what? Whatever. I've got the armor of God on. Let's go out. Let's do this thing, Music has that power. And so I invite you to use music in any way that you can to strengthen your testimony. Be sure to like and to subscribe and to share and check out my album, Speaking from the Dust, a musical celebration of the Book of Mormon. It may be the secret ingredient to bringing the Book of Mormon to life for you.